video is going to go over how to set up a Google Meet link in case you need to meet with your students virtually. Google Meet has rolled out some really great security features in the last few months, and I want to highlight those while I go over how you want to set up and launch a meeting from Google Classroom, if that's the LMS that you use, or if you don't use Google Classroom, how to set that up to ensure that your meeting is safe for you and your students. Now, if you use Google Classroom from your students, you'll notice that the Meet link is now going to be on the side of your stream so that you and students have really quick access. By default, this Meet link will not be visible to students. So when you're ready for them to see that link to be able to join your meeting, you're going to have to set that up here. I'm going to click on these three dots and go to Manage. From this drop-down menu, you can copy this link or you can reset it as needed. What I want to do is make this link visible to students so that they'll be able to join. Once I click Done, it'll tell me right here that the students can see that link and they'll be able to join the meeting. Now here are the new really cool security features for Google Meet when integrated with Google Classroom. Students will be directed to a waiting room until a teacher, as listed in this Google Classroom, has officially joined the Class Meet link. Guests not on the class roster, as listed in this Google Classroom, will have to ask to join and be admitted by a teacher before they can participate. So you don't get any unintended participants joining your meetings. All designated co-teachers in this class will automatically be co-host in the meeting, which gives them the moderation tool so that they can start the meet, they can mute participants, and so on. So now let's jump into how to set up your Google Meet if you don't use Google Classroom as your LMS. The easiest and best way to do this to ensure you have the correct security features, we're going to jump into Google Calendar and set up our Google Meet from here. So if you're connecting virtually with your students using a platform other than Google Classroom, for example, Seesaw or Schoology, you're going to want to go into Google Calendar at calendar.google.com to set up your Google Meet links. I'm going to go over really quick what that looks like and one really important security feature you want to enable. So for example, I am going to double click on the day I want to start my Google Meet, and I'm going to add my details in here. I can set it up for any time that I need. And of course, if you'll be meeting with these students each day, we're going to go ahead and set that up to repeat. I want to jump over here to the side and add my guests. So here's where I'm going to either type in a Google Classroom name if it was created for you. Otherwise, what you can do is copy and paste in your students' 900 numbers here in this guest list, which is going to allow you to not have to manually let those students in once you start your Google Meet. So after you add those guests, you'll notice that Google Meet video conferencing automatically comes up here. So this has generated a Google Meet link for me, but it's not ready to go yet. If you're not using Google Classroom, we have to add one more step to ensure that your students can't join this Google Meet without you. And what I'm going to do is go over here to my settings for this Google Meet. And you'll notice I have an option here called Quick Access. This is enabled by default, and it allows your meeting participants to easily join without having to ask to join. However, as the teacher, you might want a little bit more control over this. So if I turn Quick Access off, my students will not be able to join this Google Meet without me. You'll also notice in these video call options, you have the ability to create your breakout rooms ahead of time if you so choose to. So after I turn this Quick Access off, I'm going to save my settings. And now I want to copy this Google Meet link so that I can share it with my students via Seesaw, Schoology, email, or whatever way you need to. I'm going to save this event I created. And you'll notice it's now going to show up here on my calendar. If I click on that event I created, I can join here, clicking this Join with Google Meet button. I can also copy the link again if I need to reshare that with students. Of course, as you need to, you can double click on this event and edit. Now, of course, some of these steps might be very new to you, so I highly suggest trying it out, click around, have a couple students or your class join so you can all test it out together. Don't be afraid to click around, and of course, ask questions if you need to.